We're smoking hot body.
And I've never heard anyone say anything bad about her.
Well, that's because I've murdered those people.
Right?
Cancellation brown bear hunt
Oh.
that I might be getting in on. So that's going to be...
Oh, girl trip.
Girl trip.
See how I wickled my way
Yeah,
in there?
right.
That's how you do it. I'm Jules McQueen.
And I'm Jana Waller.
And we want you
to stay gritty.
On this episode of Gritty Bowmen, Anthony Spencer and I sit down at the Northwest Hunting and Conservation Expo at the MTN Ops booth with two fabulous ladies, Jana Waller and Jules McQueen. You might already know these awesome gals, but you may not know that these two are besties of the first degree. We dive into how these two women met, some crazy hunts they've been on, and why women are making a difference in today's world as it relates to the public's perception of hunting. This podcast was an absolute blast. I hope you enjoy it as much as we did.
If you like the show, please go to our website at grittybowmen.com and subscribe to this podcast and tell your mates and pals about us. Do us a favour and please take a moment to leave us a rating or a review on iTunes or on our YouTube channel. Send your questions and podcast ideas to grittybowmen@gmail.com. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can see the video version of this podcast on our website at www.grittybowmen.com.
Okay. All right, folks. Welcome to the Gritty Bowmen podcast. I am here with Jana Waller and Jules McQueen. I'm pretty excited for this, to have both of you together. And I want to know, like, we've had you both on the podcast before. So today, I want to know how you guys know each other, how you met, and how you became such good friends.
How we became besties.
It's funny. I don't even remember the first time we met because I felt like I've known you for a really long time before that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet, right? I mean, that's like a love story.
That's the beauty of social media, though. It's really funny because you meet someone. Like, I met Zach Owens for the first time, but I feel like we've been friends forever. Like, and that was the same thing with Jules. But I think it was 2 years ago in Nashville, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. But yeah, we've stayed in touch on social media. So the first time we actually met in person, I mean, we just became best friends right away.
Where did you meet?
In Nashville, wasn't it? 2 years
NWTF
ago?
or NRA show?
I think it was NWTF in Nashville a couple years ago.
Turkey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about earlier, seriously, you meet certain people and just feel connected and bonded. And the thing I love about Julie is she's so positive and brings up other people around her and really supportive of other women, which I think is fantastic. And, you know, Julie's the kind of gal you'd see walking down the street and know right away she was a European model, drop dead gorgeous. But she's hardcore. And we've hunted in the river breaks in Missouri, the Missouri river breaks in Montana together. And, you know, she's just such a great example of a beautiful woman who's hardcore, and yet there's not a jealous bone in her body. She supports all the women around her and tries to bring them up. And to me, that is such a beautiful quality in a friend.
When did you notice that she was like that?
Right away.
Right away.
First of all, you can tell a lot on social media by someone's posts. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree with that.
Yeah, that you can tell what they're all about. A lot of people are all about themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you gotta, if you don't promote yourself, who will? But you can also tell someone's quality, the quality of their friendships, the quality of the things they care about.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That's why I was looking forward to meeting Julie, is because I could tell that she was always bringing people around her.
So you were kind of stalking her before you met her?
Yeah, she's kind of my girl crush. Everybody kind of knows that already. Every Wednesday, woman crush happens to be Julie.
And so when you did meet her, she lived up to some of those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
That's so sweet.
That's true.
Oh, I think I love you. That's adorable.
That's funny because I knew Brian my whole life, and it took me like years to like the guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, guys are different.
Right. Not the same thing.
But we spent, last year she came to Montana, and part of our big group that does a big wall tent turkey camp in the Missouri River Breaks. And we spent, 6 days together, hunting together, campfires at night. You know, honestly, so your Jim and I are in our little pop-up jumping jack trailer, and they're in they're in their gorgeous big motorhome, and she must have felt pity on me every morning. She'd bring over coffee.
from her castle.
Yeah, exactly.
Castle on wheels.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like, oh, they have a bathroom in there.
We have so much fun, though.
We do.
Some of our best memories are those things, you know,
Yeah.
just spending time outside. And Jana called a turkey in for me, and, you know, we hiked
First
around.
morning.
Yeah. Yep. We hiked around together. And, you know, those are where real memories are made. You know, we can see each other at trade shows or stay at each other's homes, but when we're out in the woods together, that's where you...
The richness of those experiences
Yeah.
are so much deeper than...
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
When you met Jana, I mean, did you know her a little bit before that, and we're looking forward to it too?
Yeah, who doesn't know Jana?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, social media, she's all over. Everybody reposts her stuff. So I think it would be rare to find someone who didn't already know about Jana. But
That's not true, but thank you.
I had been following her for a long time, and we had talked, you know, back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
And the same as what she said, I knew she was going to be a really nice person. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of obvious, and I've never heard anyone say anything bad about her.
Well, that's because I've murdered those people.
Right?
Those people are in the
and now
back.
I
Is that
get-
allowed?
And now I get to help you hide the bodies.
Now that's a bestie. Now that's a bestie.
That's scary, but anyway.
Hide
the bodies.
Date night. So I knew for sure that we would probably be really good friends.
Yeah.
But that first time that we met, we instantly loved each other and just started kind of communicating, you know, pretty often about different things in life. And, you know, it's just, it's nice to find somebody who's just like you, but we're still so different. We do totally different things, different types of hunts. We, you know, are different personalities, but we're so much alike when it comes down to the important stuff,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
values and our friendships. And
Well, not only that, we both have really demented senses of humor.
Right.
And I think that bonds us incredibly strong.
Right. Yeah.
If people only knew how crazy we are.
Humor is like a major connection.
Major.
It's honestly such an attractant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not talking men, women, whoever. Because I find the world funny. My dad
Yeah.
raised me like that.
I saw your dad on the shark
Yeah,
tooth
yeah,
one.
yeah,
and,
yeah. He's like, get out of here. Yeah, I pulled out a big shark tooth. Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he raised me like that, and I think my sense of humor comes from him. But Julie and Daniel are two of the funniest people, and that's a big connection.
Yeah. No, when I first, so Casey's like, this is Julie and Daniel, and I recognized Julie from Instagram, but I really hadn't any prior experience, and realized I knew Daniel later. I remember the young Daniel.
Right.
Not that he's not young now.
Oh man.
I mean,
Keep
I remember
digging that hole.
I remember
Brian
the baby
never
boy.
fails to say things
The,
like that.
the baby boy Daniel. That's what I meant.
That's not creepy at all.
Not the young
Yeah.
Daniel. Anyway, what I was going to say was right off the bat, you could feel the chemistry between Julie and Daniel, and he is really funny. He lights up the room, and you just
Totally.
can't help but be drawn to him, and you just feel so comfortable with him right away.
Right.
There was
Yeah.
no
It's true. Yeah, he's one
Yeah.
of the nicest and funniest people I've ever met. And I surround myself with those people. Obviously, you know,
Yeah.
every person who I bring into my life, they have to have those qualities. And if they don't have them, that's fine, but they're probably not going to spend many, you know, hours
Campfires
around
with
me.
you, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I only have time for really good quality people in life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you find those people, you hang on to it and you work on those relationships and make sure that it's long term.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you know, Jana, Jim,
Yes.
the fact that your significant others like each other, does that help this relationship?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
For sure.
and are they buddies?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Big
Well,
time.
again, it all comes from 4 demented senses of humor.
Right?
But
Yeah.
and same thing goes for Jim too. He's just really such a quality guy. You know,
Yeah.
and the fact that I love being around people that really want the success of their friends and family, and they foster that. There are a lot of haters in this world, as anyone knows.
Yeah.
When you start to succeed at anything, there are those around you that will help push you up that mountain, and there are those who are pulling on your pant leg trying to keep you down.
Yeah.
And DL and Jim are the kind of men who really boost everybody around them, want the best for everybody,
Yeah.
want to share that success and foster that. And I just think we all love each other so much. The kind of quality people.
Right.
Yeah,
It would really suck if one of them was not nice, and then there's 3 of us, and there's one total jerk,
It'd
and we're all
probably be
going,
me out of all 4.
okay, we're gonna have to kill him. Dang it, another murder.
Yeah.
You can't hide that, though. When you meet people, it's like you were saying, even when you knew each other just on social media, you can't hide that. When
No.
when you're that kind of person, it shows, and when you're not that kind of person, it shows.
Yeah, it kind of does. There's that energy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and Daniel and Jim get along great.
Oh, they do.
So
Well, and they've got the music thing in common too.
Yeah,
Totally. People don't know that that whole other side to Jim has really come out in this last year, but he's written tons of songs. He wrote the Chris Kyle, The Legend, that's coming out this month on iTunes right now. He's got Cryptech Overcome, Open the Cage, and Gladiators, all 3 of those. And so there's that music connection between the 2 of them too.
Yeah.
He's got a song coming out that DL was one of the first he ever played it for. It's a slower country type song called Red Platoon about Clint Romashay's The Battle of Kamdesh. And so DL and Jim have that bond too.
And sometimes they geek out, and we're like, let's go over here and get away from the geeky conversation. They're talking about cameras and recording stuff. So we kind of sneak out of the room once in a while and go.
That's sort of typical guy-girl thing.
Yeah.
Well, I just met Daniel today, or last night, I guess. But before we started this, somebody had paid you ladies a nice compliment.
Oh,
and
nice.
he said, you want to see attractive, huh? Let me show you a picture.
Oh,
thought,
man.
Well, it was a selfie of him this morning. Maybe pre-shower or maybe.
With the hair?
Yeah, with the hair. You saw it then. I wish we could show it on here because it was great. But
Daniel is one of the funniest people that you'll ever meet.
He's not worried about, presenting an image. He is who he is.
But
and
neither
take it
is
or leave
she.
it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen her Instagram?
Yeah.
That's another thing I love about Julia. She's dropped a gorgeous. She doesn't care if she's all she's funny and doesn't care, and you know what I mean. I like that. Doesn't have to be perfect all the time. And
right. And that's why Dan and I get along so great. We don't really care that much. People are going to like you or they're not going to like you. And we'd rather just,
be yourself.
Yeah, you might as well, right?
Yeah.
Once in a while you find someone who doesn't mind your weirdness.
Yeah.
or embraces it. Or
celebrates it.
Celebrates it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you both this question, but Jana, what is one of your favorite things about Jim, or that attracts you the most to Jim, besides his hot body?
We're smoking hot body.
It's hard to think beyond that.
I think he's so genuine. Jim is just such a genuine person. He's honestly one of the most hardworking people. In fact, it's funny because we're around each other 24/7. Oh my gosh, that must be so great. You're around each other. We're like 2 ships that pass in the night. I'm in my studio working. He's in his studio working, and he's got so many projects working full time that the other day we had lunch and I made him leave his phone in the truck, and he was like, wow, I haven't looked into your eyes in months. I'm like, I know. But no, probably is that he's just
truly genuine.
He's truly genuine. He doesn't have a big ego.
No ulterior motives.
No. And the guy would do anything for his good friends.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm good friends with Grady Rawls.
Yeah.
And he taught me a lot at film school. Also got me motivated to do the stuff I've been talking about for a long time. So I have just a deep gratitude for that because, and then as I started to grow the Gritty Bowmen and started doing some films and some podcasting, Grady was right there cheering me on the whole time. And then I could always call him up from someone who had no idea how to do anything or run a DSLR and say, Grady, how do I do this? And get genuine feedback and then go buy this and go buy that. And I had that support. And so Grady also can rub people the wrong way, and he's a little different, right? But deep down, he's just a genuine guy. And when he says, I like Jim, that says a lot to me in terms of what Jim's like.
And the fact that Jim likes him back.
No,
Yeah,
I was just going to say, they actually
That's
really,
right.
it's really funny. I'll be in my studio across the house, and I can hear them giggling, like two little schoolgirls. And they're like editing together and giggling together and hoo-hoo-ha-ha. And I'm actually jealous of the fact that he's got a coworker in his studio, and I'm all alone at the other side of the house. But they really do bouncy, and they storyboard. So Grady is actually helping us edit a few episodes of Skullbound this year. And it's the first time we've ever had another editor come in. And actually, that Jim trusts him to edit our shows says a lot right there. But they have real mutual respect for each other, and I think that that's a really beautiful friendship, you know, men or women.
Because we spent some serious time with Grady over the weekend and like intense. I mean, he pushed us hard and Grady and I talked about it a little bit, and he's like, I kind of rub people the wrong way sometimes, you know?
Yeah, but you know why? It's because he's real. We all kind of have that face sometimes like, yeah, great. You know,
right.
Grady just will be like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know,
he just tells you.
Yeah, he's
like,
just honest. I like that.
We got there, and we're like, we kind of want to stay together and, in this group class, and there was 3 of us, and we're just going to, we're real, like,
we're buds.
We don't want to be split up into different groups. And Grady looks at us and goes, that's nice, but it's my school, and you'll be in different groups.
I love it.
And we were like,
okay.
But Grady, and he's like, no, it's my school. And then he walks off, and we're like, wow. And that's our first, like, real introduction to Grady, right?
That's great.
And so
Brownlee about went home.
Yeah, he almost went home. Our other friend,
He was just so nervous about everything.
Oh.
He just about called it quits right there.
And
that's funny.
And that Grady is, though, that's exactly how he is, just right there. But the fact that Jim really likes him says, again, a lot for me about who Jim is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have, like Aaron Snyder's not exactly the easiest to meet, or especially in person, and he's a little rough on the edges sometimes, and people can judge people like that, right? Especially if they're introverted and they seem like a jerk.
I was intimidated by Aaron.
Who isn't?
I know, right?
Right?
I'm a Cryptech gal, and so I've known Aaron through the Cryptech world, but have never met him face to face.
Yeah.
And he always looks so stern and kind of strong and maybe a little bullhead. I don't know, but I was just
hey,
what's up? I was just a little intimidated too, and then I met him at AT. I'm like, you're just a big old teddy bear.
Yeah, totally. And I think sometimes we look at those people like Grady or Aaron, and it's easy to kind of make these judgments when we don't really know them. So when I see someone who looks past that on somebody and sees deeper, like Jim with Grady, I just like those people.
Yeah.
Without even having met them before.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting. It's funny that you say that, because we were just talking about this last night, that you never. It is human nature to judge, and as much as we all like to say that we don't, and try not to, it still sometimes just happens without even thinking about it. But you never know someone's story, and and what they're thinking about, where their mind is at, what they've been going through. You just never know. And like I'm just looking over here at Wishes for Warriors, guys, for example, is that's another reason I love to do veteran hunts so much. Is these men have been through hell and have seen hell with their own eyes. And whether they have physical disabilities or coming back with maybe some PTS or TBI, who knows what you don't know. And that can be anyone. I just happen to be using them because I'm looking at them right now as an example. But you never know someone's story.
It's exciting to uncover that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I like the podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's like a chance to uncover people's stories.
Yeah, peel
and get
away
to know
the layers
them,
a little bit. And
underneath the stuff that they normally would just talk about. You can go that much deeper.
Yeah.
So, Julie.
Yeah.
With Daniel, what is it about him that you found attractive, or that that really stands out for you?
Well, he's a hottie for sure. I mean,
it's a song.
I mean, it's the country.
It's the song. It's a country
cute.
song.
Yeah, stomping his foot up there with the guitar.
Right?
I mean, dude, he's killing all the ladies.
Girls love musicians. But okay, so Daniel Lee is. I always say he's the nicest person I've ever met.
Yeah.
I mean, and I got to marry him. That's pretty cool. But he touches hearts everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to watch, because sometimes I get caught up and I'm like, oh, we're running late. We're supposed to be somewhere at 1 o'clock, whatever. And he's really listening to a story and asking someone questions about themselves and getting into this conversation with some random guy he met in the bathroom. And I'm just like, dude, we have to be somewhere like now. And he's making dinner plans with a total stranger. And he finds it's so easy to be nice to everybody all the time. And he's just that way. He's not putting on a show. He's not acting
pretending.
nice. He's not pretending. And I think he just comes from such humble beginnings, a really good family, good core values. He is a lot like Jim. You know, he'd do anything for anyone, you know, even if it makes him uncomfortable. He's a nice guy, and he's a riot. I mean,
the funniest man on the planet.
Funniest guy I've ever met. When you put nice and funny together, and he's a musician, he's really cute. It's like,
you didn't stand a chance.
Funny story. Dan and I knew each other for a long time. Liked each other as friends, whatever. And when we were both single at the same time, I mean, we might have told you, I don't remember, we might have told you the story last time we talked to you. He invited me over for a weekend. I moved in that weekend. I moved into his house on our first date. And I never left. And to this day, I mean, he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world.
Well, before we put any meaning into that, how many times had you done that before, though?
Oh, man. Oh, I gotta go.
Check, please.
But even that, you know, he was so sweet and so nice about it. When I said, I'm just going to move in, I'm not going to go back home. I mean, you know. And he's like, okay, that's cool. You know, like he's just the nicest guy.
Yeah, but then didn't you, like, when you went home to get your first load, bring over a truck full of deer heads? He was like, I'm in love.
I didn't know this came with it.
Right? I know. Well, he tells everyone that when I moved, like, my first batch of things from my house to his, the first thing I took out was, it was like a 10-point buck, and then I brought out a flat screen TV, and he's like,
hello.
I just wanted life.
I was a little nervous about this at first, but
I only see an upside.
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so that's what I love. He's just the nicest, funniest guy. You know, he's just a sweetheart.
So you single guys out there, like, you didn't hear them saying that, you know, working on their biceps or their great big truck. I mean, that wasn't the thing that did it, right?
Right.
So little hint there.
You
First of all, Jim's biceps aren't that big, and he had a nasty old Toyota Tacoma or Tundra when I met him.
A little deeper.
That's really neat. At this point now in your, I want to switch gears a little bit and find out what it is you're all working on this year that you're excited about. And before that, what have you already completed that's in the works that we're going to get to see soon?
Want me to go?
Yeah, you go.
Well, episodes that haven't been aired yet that I'm super excited to air. Probably, well, one of the ones that was the most heartfelt hunt of the year just aired a couple weeks ago, and that's when I took Corey Garman, double amputee, Army veteran, on his very first elk hunt in Utah. It was amazing. Tears were flowing, and the feedback off that episode was just like when I took Bo Richenbeck, you know, just an outpouring of people who, you know, were motivated, who said, you know, thank you for honoring our servicemen. A couple emails from veterans who felt super inspired, who were amputees, to get out there and start hunting again. So that just makes it all the worthwhile. But I've got my my 2-part moose episode coming up that is pretty near and dear to my heart.
Really?
I've always wanted a moose hunt. I went into the...
I'm jealous. I'm a little jealous.
And it wasn't just any moose. It was like the biggest moose I've ever seen.
When you're
in my
packing
life.
that thing out, it just looks bad to the bone. I mean...
Yeah, it's on the wall over there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
You like that?
That's pretty... wow.
Yeah, it was pretty special. We went into the backcountry of Alaska with our friend Ben Wohlers and his 13-year-old daughter, Taylor.
Oh,
Her and I both had the moose tags, both scored great bulls, and it's just a fun show to show the do-it-yourself side of it all. We rented the horses, and obviously they helped.
Wow.
They helped. The horses took us in, dropped us off, and then we GPSed the moose, and the horse guy went in and packed the moose out, fully out of the canyons. But other than that, it was DIY and camping and creek water every day. It was just awesome. I can't wait to
So what
share
is the
that.
thought, though? Like, we've hunted elk our whole lives. You get that moose on the ground. And I
You'll
haven't
see.
experienced that. I can't wait. But
Tears. Like, to watch, it's just
Gotta be
so
just, yeah.
amazing. They're amazing animals anyway.
Yeah.
And it was the rut. And the way the hunt unfolded was incredible because it took us an hour. We glassed them down in the valley. It took
Yeah.
us, Jim and I dropped off by ourselves. Ben and Taylor stayed up high to watch these other bulls they were watching. We drop off an hour later. We're in the valley. And it's really hard because you can't see the mountaintops to triangulate.
Yeah.
And we think they're over here, and all of a sudden we look, and there's a cow at 80 yards staring at us, and we duck back down, and by the time we peek back up, they were busted out.
Oh.
So we're like, it's all right, opening morning. We go a little further into the opening, set up our stuff. I'm taking off my rain gear. Jim just set his GoPro up right in front of us. So the GoPro is filming us. I'm in my backpack, and he goes, don't move, don't move, don't move. And he
kidding.
And he goes, kill that bull. And I'm like, my back's to the, I'm like digging in my backpack, and I'm like, he told me not to move, but he told me to kill the bull. So I'm like trying to
how am I going to make both these things happen?
Yeah, and I'm trying
And the
not to
GoPro
move.
is catching this?
Oh, all of it. All of
Yes.
it. And I'm looking around trying to like see, and then I look at him to see where his eyes are looking, and I'm looking in the wrong, and I'm like, oh. So the bull is just licking his lips, and he's going, oh. He's only 80 yards away. And he's
Wait, how many?
80.
Oh, my
And
God.
he's
he
raking,
hasn't seen you.
No, and their eyesight's terrible anyway.
Yeah.
And he's licking his lips like crazy, so
He's
you know his
rutting.
cow's around.
Yeah.
And he just starts ripping up a tree, and I, get my gun on the bipod, and for 8 minutes that bull stands there, and he's
Wow.
staring straight at us, but he doesn't see us, and he's raking the tree and grunting and licking his lips. And I'm like, turn.
And you
for
got
like,
the camera on some of this?
Oh, it's on all of it.
Okay.
The GoPro's on us, and the camera's on the bull.
Wow.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
she got
Yeah,
the
I was
news.
going to say.
Exactly. I always do that, though. You know, a lot of people don't post their pictures.
Yeah.
I'm so not like, I'm the opposite. I'm like, this just happened 5 minutes ago. Boom,
Right.
And I post everything. But anyway, long story short, I'm really excited to put that one on. And then I'm excited to
man.
air our Sitka hunt. Hardly anyone, I say Sitka hunt in the U.S., and they're like, what?
And this is blacktail?
No, this is
Kodiak?
Nope. This is Sitka deer in Maryland. Free-ranging Sitka deer in the swamps of Maryland.
okay.
Thank you, because that's the same
So
face I had on when someone told me about it. I'm like, what? They're like 60 to 70 pound Sitka deer. They have spots on their
Now
backs.
spell that for us. 'cause-
Sika.
Yeah, not Sitka.
Some people,
It's Sitka.
some people say
Yeah,
Sika.
Sika.
Right.
But
Or Sika.
when you're there, it's
Yeah.
Sika. In fact, I did a podcast last year, and I'm like, I'm so excited to go on my Sika deer hunt.
Yeah.
And then I get there, and everyone's saying Sika. I'm like,
all this
oh, that's
hate
embarrassing.
mail.
Yeah, exactly. Durr. So anyway, they live in the swamps. They were released there over 100 years ago, and they have flourished. They also, when they released them there, planted this Phragmite grass. It's like 10, 12 feet tall grass.
Oh, wow.
So you feel like you're in the jungles of Cambodia or something.
yeah.
You can't see anything. And there's pockets of deep water. You have to wear waders to get out to your tree stand.
wow.
And it's just exciting to show a hunt that I didn't even know existed.
Most people don't.
No,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
at dumb luck just happened to arrow a record book stag or buck. You can call it either one, but most people call them stags. But they bugle like an elk, so you can hear them whistling all throughout the
Oh, wow.
swamps.
That's cool.
It was
That's
the
really
coolest
cool.
hunt, and I'm excited to share it with people because it's so they don't even know about it.
Yeah.
And it was the 7th largest one ever taken, ever. So
Dumb luck.
Yeah.
Luck. But
You're
yeah,
just
it's the
such a trophy
seventh
hunter.
largest. Yeah, I
you
know,
passed-
right?
How many did you pass
passed.
out to get to that?
No,
Right.
that is the largest one that anyone. So I went with my friend Dale Gertz, and he has a cabin, and he
Yeah.
has 5 or 6 guys who hunt there, for Sitka every year for the last 20 years. It's the biggest one anyone's ever gotten
Oh, my
out of
God.
his camp.
How did
So
they-
it's just dumb luck.
And this is something else cute because, I mean, girls who hunt and who really like each other,
Yeah.
it's a special bond, right? When she killed her moose, she texted me a picture. And I'm like, okay, I will wait for you to post it on social media, but I'm like peeing my pants right now. I need to post this picture. There's this pride,
Yeah.
in your friends when you see somebody succeed like that. I've never gotten a moose. It's my dream hunt. But to see her get to do that, and I get to live vicariously
Yeah.
through her
But
on that.
that's why I like Jewel. That's a real friend, is someone who like lifts you up and celebrates your success.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I mean, I have never been more happy for someone than that. And and then I'm like, oh my God, she texted me a picture of it. I am so special.
Yeah. It's a blessing.
That's cool.
What happens when you, well, keep telling me about what you got coming down the line.
Well, no. You tell too. I want to hog the podcast.
Do you talk a lot? No.
Yeah.
Well, if you insist.
What do you got coming that you've done already? That'll be coming out soon.
Well, right now, Brotherhood Outdoors is airing on Sportsman Channel. We have some episodes that haven't aired yet. We have some really cool stuff coming up.
Yep.
I think a few of our episodes have aired already. There's a couple that I'm pretty proud of. Obviously, we love turkey hunting. There's a really cool turkey episode coming up. It was a Merriam's hunt out in South Dakota. And I like it. I know this sounds really biased, but I like that episode because Daniel edited it. He doesn't do a lot of our editing anymore because we're just too busy for it. So when he does edit an episode, I'm a huge fan. I like it better.
But he pulls out the emotion because he was there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything bad about our editors back home because they do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But there's something about when, he puts his up. So I'm excited to see those episodes air.
Yeah. I mean, not to interrupt you, but I'm going to anyway. Jana, when you have someone else come and help edit, that seems, because we've been talking to Grady, in fact, about editing some of our footage, and it's scary, like having someone else, because you're the guy that I've produced our films, and it feels weird like having someone else produce it. What if it's not anymore?
What if he forgets this, or what if he added that I didn't like, or what if he, it's like, what if he didn't bring out the emotion with the right music? What if what if you are taking 8 hours, Jim and I film everything just like them. Their cameras are constantly rolling and you have to boil it into 22 minutes.
Yeah.
What if he didn't pick the right stuff?
Yeah.
And
that's why there's a creative process.
Yeah.
I mean, with our editors back home, as they're completing episodes, they're uploading it to me so that I can make revisions.
Yeah.
I make all the changes. I change storylines.
You work closely with them, so it makes it easier.
Very closely. Yeah. So I see that episode probably 50 times before anyone ever sees it.
Yeah.
But when you see, but you can, it is special though when Daniel's doing it.
I love when he edits things because I get to see him get creative, and that's a big part of our life.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. We do have a new project coming out. I think we start airing in July. Daniel and I have been filming for probably the past year and a half for our new series that's just launching in July. We're going... it's going to be...
I was wondering if you can, I don't know if you can talk about it yet. I was going to kind of go there. If anything else, she can tease the audience a little bit that they've got a really exciting new project coming out.
Well, we've technically announced it at this point. Yeah, we've technically... It's a soft launch, so we'll start promoting it in March. It's just a really cool new series.
What is it?
It's a lifestyle series. It's hunting, fishing, but it's also recreation. Obviously, we live on the road for most of the year. A lot of camping. We're actually showing the behind the scenes of our production. So you'll see Daniel and I discussing sponsorships, discussing production ideas, discussing editing stuff.
Real behind the scenes.
Real behind the scenes on the production side. It's called Till Death Do Us Part, which I thought was really cool.
That does sound cool.
Yeah. So, and when people are like, "Oh, what's the name of your new project?" and I say, "Till Death Do Us Part," and Daniel's like, "Till death do us part," and I'm like, "Whoa, calm it down, big guy." And he emphasizes that whole death part of it. So, but it's going to be great. We have a really
stage man,
right? Yeah. Well, speaking of that, we have a really cool logo that took us 6 months to have made. And the open of the show, he's getting it tattooed on him, and we're filming it. Right?
That's commitment right there.
Commitment.
That's faith right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, that's going to be
And can you tell them where it's on?
Oh, yeah. We're airing exclusively on Carbon TV. So,
cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So after this many seasons, 15 seasons on network TV, we are
digital.
with that one. Yeah. So our other show, Brotherhood Outdoors, obviously still exclusively on Sportsman Channel, but our new series will be exclusive to Carbon TV.
Wow,
That'll
that's
be
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Kind of exciting.
Yeah.
It's something we've been pouring our heart and soul into, and
It's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
What about going forward for you, Jana? What are some projects you guys got coming?
I'm so excited next year. I'm taking Eric from Wishes for Warriors. He's a triple amputee, and I'm taking him on his first elk hunt thanks to R&K hunting in Wyoming this year.
Wow.
And Eric is like the coolest cat. He is one of those guys that if I'm having a downer day, I'll go look at his Instagram account and I'll remember, like, quit complaining about anything. You know, he literally has no legs, has only one arm. He's a college student. He's going to school for social work so he can help change the system. He's so inspirational to me, and I'm really excited. I did that elk hunt this year in Utah with R&K Hunting. They were so fantastic that they offered another one for next year. Taking Eric, super, super excited about that.
How are you going to get that done?
We are with the help of some, like Polaris. Polaris helped us get Corey around, and it will help obviously get Eric around, but he's got prosthetics, so he can climb a little bit versus like Bo, the Navy SEAL, who his prosthetics didn't work that well. So we're just going to, honestly, we won't know till we get there. We won't know what Eric's limitations are till we start climbing those mountains, and that's half the fun.
Yeah,
that's half
great.
the adventure.
Yeah.
And watching him push his body again, it'll be fantastic.
Not meant to be easy then,
I will know probably tomorrow if a friend of ours called Phil Shoemaker, legendary Alaskan guide, had cancellation brown bear hunt that I might be getting in on. So that's going to be...
girl trip.
Girl trip.
See how I wiggled my way in there?
Right.
That's how you do it.
I love it. So that'll be exciting if that comes to be.
Wow.
But yeah. I'm...
So, speaking of, you guys just made me think of something. Like, there's not, like you were saying earlier, there's not that many women that are into hunting, but it's growing rapidly.
Right.
But when you find a girl that is into it like you're into it, I mean, is that group growing? I mean, can you feel it swelling?
Yeah, big time. And, there's a difference because... Okay, so one reason why I'm a huge fan of Jana's is she's doing it for the right reason. Jana doesn't do this so she can see her face on TV or so that she can brag about this huge thing she killed. Conservation is the top of the priority list here. And, she's donating skulls that she decorates, and it's raising money that goes directly into conservation.
Yeah.
And she's spreading the message, trying to get young hunters into the game and trying to educate people. And that's growing, and that's what I'm happy about. Now, it's great to see girls out there in the field hunting, getting more comfortable going out and doing their thing. But I want to be sure that people do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I hear every day, it must be so great to have a TV show. If you do it for the right reason, it's fantastic.
Well, and sometimes...
I'll pay you later.
And
you owe me big time.
and I love that. Sometimes, though, like, I don't care why I hook them, right? I don't care if they get in because they want their face on social media. I'm kind of like, okay. But later I want them to have this altruistic change of heart that they're doing it now for the right reasons. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I want them to start out doing it for the right reasons, but if I can get more people into hunting for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I want them to then, transition, right? Like
maturation,
grow. Right, totally.
Yeah.
So
Ryan always thinks the best.
I try not to judge someone that is getting in for the wrong reasons, and you can feel it, you can tell.
Yeah.
But I
really
hope that
you go into that tree stand in your bikini and pull your bow back for that selfie.
What, I can't do that
Okay, then.
anymore?
You can do it. You can do it.
it's definitely being done.
Moisture wicking. I mean, there's some.
Yeah, that's what she's talking about.
It was a hot day.
Yeah.
It was,
No, but there are unfortunately some women who are into what looks to be into hunting for the attention. I think that's probably what you meant.
That's exactly what I mean.
But
I think they see an opening.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
They see an attention.
Obviously,
they see an opening.
Yeah.
Men really like women who hunt.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if you're hunting and you wear a bikini while you're doing it, that's like the best of all worlds.
Right.
And, it can have that. And so I think a lot of women, they do kind of get in to get attention.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're not really interested in hunting at all.
I agree.
There are those,
Yeah,
right,
there
right,
are those.
right. But no,
fortunately,
I have definitely seen especially at shows like this when you get younger women and especially older women too, like, I always watched my husband from afar and joined him this year for the first time or whatever. I definitely see an increase in women getting into hunting and for the right reasons and truly getting the connection to nature, the excitement of, cooking up that venison steak that you got yourself or that turkey. And that's what it's really fun to hear the stories of women who I never thought I'd be into it the way I am. And if we literally do not pass on our passion, it will die. Look at the times we're in right now of the political time we're in, of everybody trying to, take away our Second Amendment rights. People also don't understand, because we're all hunters here, right? That's why we're here. So we tend to surround ourselves with the 10%ers that they say, if you take the United States population, 10% of us hunt. There's 10% that are anti-hunting, and then there's the 80%ers. We need to reach that 80%ers who maybe didn't grow up in a hunting household. They maybe have never been influenced or introduced to it by anybody. Those are the people that we need to reach, because if not, there are millions of dollars on the anti-side trying to take away our rights little by little in the court system. And thank God we have groups like Mule Deer Foundation, Sportsman's Alliance, who are fighting for our rights inside the courtroom. And we need to get as many women, kids, young men, whatever, into what we care about to protect it.
Right.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we have a platform to try to encourage that. That's a big part of what we're doing is, trying to encourage people in the right ways, show them that there is a way. We have fun in the field, but there's also a way to be conservation minded while you're out there.
I just went and talked to, this was so cute, I got a call asked to come down to the 4-H Club Air Rifle Gunners Tuesday night meeting. I did it last week. It was so cute. It was like 30 kids, all ranging in ages from, I think, 9 or 10 up to, there was a 17-year-old in it. And they shoot every once a week. They come down, they shoot at targets, but they learn gun safety. And that branches into talking about hunting and stories. And it was such a cute way. I don't think when I was a kid there was any kind of air rifle class or anything like that where they could do it indoors, 10 yards, shooting at little itty-bitty targets. And there were just as many girls in the class as boys. So it was so exciting to be around that energy and see that guns aren't scary.
They're not evil. They're not.
No, exactly. And that hunting is a good thing. And these kids need to learn to stand tall. And I gave my little speech to everybody about standing tall as hunters. Don't let someone bully you and say, how could you do that? How could you kill that deer? How could you do that? How could you shoot that bear? You need to be able to understand that we hunters are the ones, through the Pittman-Robertson Act, through our conservation groups, protecting the herds, flocks, and habitat better than anyone.
Even hunters themselves, the idea with conservation and all of that, we've hunted for years and not been super proactive in the conservation space. And it just kind of wasn't really on my radar that much. And I would go hunting and I would always try to be a good hunter and present it in a good light, but I didn't really. And the bigger your platform grows, the more people you reach, the more you can influence in a positive way.
Right.
But we all can do it, no matter how small your influence is. But it just wasn't something I had been.
Well, but I think it's important, though, to remember that even those sportsmen who don't realize they are.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Like through the taxes that we're taxed on all of our hunting gear.
Right.
People aren't even sometimes aware of that.
And we chose to be.
Yeah.
Hunters as a collective group chose to be taxed so that those dollars could go back into conservation.
Yeah, each state manages those dollars.
Those things I didn't know a few years ago.
Yeah.
I should have, but I just didn't know it. I didn't really put it together.
Well, and Jana, what you said about that 10% that has putting all this money into taking our rights away, that's because their money isn't going to conservation.
No, it's not.
We're
that's
behind
what's so funny.
because our money's going to conservation. Theirs is going to stopping
That's
that
right.
other,
You better believe it.
So,
yeah, Google it. Look at the Humane Society of the United States, one of the most corrupt organizations out there. Now, Julie and I are both dog lovers.
Yes.
Like, we text each other pictures of our dogs on a daily basis.
We're dog moms.
Yeah, dog moms, totally. And people think, oh, Humane Society, I'm going to give a check to them. Look into less than 1% of their budget goes to animals. All they do is Well, first of all, they're corrupt. They've got red flags all over them. There's nothing wrong. If you want to donate and help out dogs, cats, domesticated animals, you go to your local humane society and help out your local shelter.
Right.
But otherwise, those are the groups that are fighting to take away our hunting heritage, and people need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
You better watch who you write that check to.
Yeah.
You know, write it to Mule Deer Foundation. Write it to, NWTF, whatever, Sportsman's Alliance, that protect the herds and habitat.
That's one thing I was talking to Brian Marshall about earlier with Wishes for Warriors is they have. So within the hunting community, we reach other hunters, right? But sometimes our show or whatever we produce doesn't attract the non-hunter that much or doesn't get out in front of their eyes that much. But something like Wishes, they're dealing with veterans, right? Everybody has they're in tune to that, and they're not necessarily hunters. They could really not like hunting, but they really respect veterans. And with the work that they do, and then they also include hunting as a big part of that, they're able to influence that 80%,
right?
And a little more than some of us do. Like I watch Meat Eater a lot. I like Steven Ronella, and I see his show kind of get past some boundaries where it's not just toward the hunting community, it's kind of just to people who like food.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's everybody because we all like food.
Right.
And so because of that broadening of he's able to influence that 80%. Well, I think like what we've been thinking with the podcast, I want to be able to influence that 80%.
Right.
Not just the ones that are in the hunting, but those that are kind of out there like just flat out non-hunters.
Right.
And my question to you is, what do you do to influence that 80%?
Well, obviously, if someone's tuning into Skullbound on Sportsman's Channel, they're probably hunters already. Yeah. Hopefully, I do get a lot of emails from guys who will say, Mr. Grady Rowles himself, what up? Sorry. I did AD squirrel. I do get a lot of emails from people saying, I watch your show and now my kids or my wife will watch it too because, I'm a female out there doing it.
Yeah.
And we like to show the stories behind the veterans, the skull bits, which are not really hunting related, but more art related, So I'm hoping to bring in the other family members who might not be into hunting, where the guy's watching the hunting show anyway. But I also think the one really big thing, one big way to reach that 80% is through social media, because you know how they run Facebook and Insta. You might see friends of friends posts.
Absolutely.
And I do have a lot of I don't have any anti-hunting friends. They're on my banned block list. But I do have a lot of non-hunting friends. And so their friends will see my posts. And hopefully if we can remind people on a weekly basis that we're the ones giving back, we're the real animal lovers of the world. I know for a fact I've educated a lot of people through social media.
Yeah.
Who aren't really into hunting but get it. I just want them to get it.
Right.
Because then they're not going to support those that don't get it and are trying to take it away.
Yeah, I'd said this lots of times, like definitely the food thing, that reaches people who are non-hunters.
Yeah, it's a common denominator.
Yeah.
For sure.
A woman that hunts, that reaches the non-hunter. It just, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. There's this smart, articulate, pretty girl and she hunts. Maybe I need to take another look. He's not knuckle-dragging guy anymore, caveman.
Yeah. She doesn't have a wad of chew in her mouth driving down the road with her shotgun out the window of her truck. Yeah.
And I like those people, but that's that. I think that has a lot to that helps reach that audience. I think conservation. I think the art thing that reaches people who are just artists, and then they see it and they're like, huh, she's this artist. And she hunts, and now you've reached another part of that audience. I think we all have these different parts about our own personalities, our own skills that help us reach those people that are non-hunters. We've met a lot. My wife got cancer, and through her treatment, we met all these people, and they found out that we were hunters, and they're like, their idea of hunters completely changed.
Right.
All of those things kind of help us connect, I think, to that 80%.
Right.
And I'd like to think, and I think it is moving in a really nice direction with hunting. Then you have something like the Cecil Lion thing, and you're like, man, it's like you're starting all over again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But it did open up at least the discussion for people to understand that hunter's dollars, those dollars are going towards the anti-poaching patrols.
Right.
And if you notice, no one has ever done a follow-up story. He was not fined.
Right.
He didn't do anything wrong.
That's because that's not interesting.
No, exactly. Like that. That was just a media circus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I know. I almost called you and booked us an appointment to go have him clean our teeth.
I know, just because I felt bad, right? I know, I felt really bad. I did too. That's hilarious.
Hey, guess what? Girl trip.
Yeah, girl
Going to
trip.
the dentist.
We're having our teeth cleaned, or whitening. But that and the food movement, like you were saying, is getting really big right now. I just saw a big article about the FDA allowing meat to be cargo shipped overseas to be processed. Apparently, it's a lot cheaper and then shipped back here.
Amazing.
Oh
And
my
it can
gosh.
still say "Made in the USA" on the labels. You have to Google it. It's crazy. Did you read that recently?
Well, I didn't read that one, but I know that in the U.S., if it's been frozen one time, it's still fresh, right? Mm-hmm. I mean,
and overseas, if they are processing the meat over there, they're processing, in the article it just mentioned that their regulations aren't near what ours are.
Right.
So there's this whole organic movement and healthy, clean meats, steroid-free, all that. And I think that, hey, if that's what's going to cause you to look into hunting. I was on a Wyoming women's antelope hunt this year where I helped hosted it. It was 40 women hunters, a lot of them brand new, 3-day hunt, all put on by the Wyoming Women's Foundation, all antelope hunting. It was 36 out of the 40 tagged out. It was awesome. And I met a woman there, and her reason for being there is that her husband was diagnosed with cancer. He was told he had 6 months to live. He completely changed his diet, got rid of, anything like
hormones.
yeah,
steroids,
anything. Yeah, exactly. And all he will eat now, with the dietitian's approval, is clean, organic, wild game meat. And that's why she was there to learn how to get meat for him. And I thought that's a beautiful thing. And by the way, he's cancer free right now. Yeah, it's been like 4 years or something like that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I fitness matters. I think just for happiness and well-being and stuff.
Right.
And our food supply is just horrendous. I mean, we have so much we can get a hold of. Like fresh fruits and veggies and meats and all this stuff, but 9 out of 10 people, when they walk into this store, they're buying something that comes out of a box, and they're not. And then when you're eating that fast food and all these places, it's not food anymore. No. It's like all like toxic.
And that's what I think is really funny when I have an anti-hunter attack me, and I'm like, dude, just because they make mac and cheese in a box doesn't mean I have to eat it.
Right. I saw Sarah Bomar and she had posted which I think is super cool because she's got 1 million people following her on Instagram, literally, something like that. And then she'll be posting fitness stuff, but then she'll put a deer or an elk out. Well, I'd say 80. She's got lots of 80%ers in there that don't hunt. They're just non-hunters.
Yeah.
But when she posts it, there's this. You could see all the comments. There's antis or unfriending or unfollowing. I'm out.
Yeah.
But it sparks this dialogue, and there's all these people that get on there that say she's doing it for this reason. She wants to feed her family. It's clean. It's organic, and all of that. And I absolutely think that I hunt for a lot of reasons. Food is a big part of that, but I also quote unquote trophy hunt, and I'm out there for an experience, not just an animal I'm shooting.
Right.
And but the food seems to just click with everyone.
Yeah.
It's the common denominator. And I agree with what you say. I read the comments on Sarah's stuff too when she posts stuff, and it's interesting because she started off in fitness. I mean, that's her thing. That's her corner. And she has turned into a hunter now, and they do use the meat, and that's really cool. And it does open a new door. It's kind of all these people who would have never had any interest in checking out anything else the hunting industry is doing. Now they're open to it because they've seen what she's done. And that's great. When people use an already existing platform to...
I think it's fantastic.
It's almost like forcing people to be open-minded.
Right.
Yeah, which is cool.
It is
I mean,
neat.
it's kind of cool.
And you'll see these people that write some pretty mean stuff.
Yeah.
And then right after they're done writing it down and stuff, Sarah will go out and look at their page, and she's like, wait a minute, you eat chicken and fish and beef.
Right.
I saw your meal the other day, but I'm evil because I'm eating a deer, and they're like, and literally they will respond and be like, we don't have to be uncivilized anymore. We have a grocery store.
Right.
It's like,
have they ever seen that inside of a slaughterhouse? It's not pretty.
Those animals didn't give up.
Right, they committed suicide. I have to say, one of the most, I'm not going to say successful, but one of the biggest responses I've ever had to a photo I posted was a picture of my freezer. I mean, I can post these creative shots in the field, whatever it is. I take a picture of my freezer after I organized it one day, and we have 3 freezers in our garage and then 1 in the house. So, I mean, I thought it was really cool that I organized it, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, you know.
Yeah.
And then I get people going, why do you need that much meat? Like, you only have 2 of you, right? And I'm like, hold on a second. Friends and family eat free at our house. So our neighbors come to our house and get meat, and that is what they eat.
Yeah.
And we go into the field and get meat for everybody in our lives who don't hunt.
Yeah.
And that's our way of kind of not forcing people to be healthier, but I know my neighbors don't want to go to the grocery store and spend that much money on meat.
Right.
So come to our house, get a bag, and fill it up.
It's neat to be able to share it.
Isn't it wonderful?
Totally. I had a guy the other day ream me on Instagram on my moose picture and just say, I'm so sick of you hunters with your grip and grins, and why do you always have to gloat with your dead animals, blah, blah. I go onto his page. The 4th picture down was a picture of a delicious steak. I thought, I'm so turning this into a social media post, and I did. And it's just hypocrisy.
Yeah.
But all we can do is continue to be positive.
That steak isn't a living thing. You know what I mean?
Right. People, isn't it sad that they don't have the connection?
Yeah.
They don't have the, and I'm not, I have a lot of rancher friends, and if I go to their house and get a lovely, prime cut piece of steak, wonderful.
Great.
I'm not bashing that.
I'm not turning that down.
No, not in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's really funny when you look at the haters, because most of them simply are just uneducated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're here for. We're going to educate them.
Yep.
I love it. The first time that I had seen Skullbound around, right? Mm-hmm. Don't have TV. I don't think I've had cable in like 5 or 6, 10 years. And so, but you can't miss Jana. She's like in social media. I've seen her in places, right? So I'm sitting there and but then I listened to this podcast with Cody Rich, and
that's where I think I called it a psychodeer. But keep going.
Jana got on there. And I'm listening to this podcast, and she's talking about conservation and, just going into depth on this. And it just gave me some goosebumps. And she gets intense about it, right? And she's like all like
in your face,
gung-ho about this, passionate about conservation and where the dollars really go. And it just, you were on a roll, too. Because once you got started, I think Cody said 3 words.
You talk a lot.
No.
And it was really cool. And and at that point, I knew I got to meet Jana Waller, because she's doing all the right stuff.
I really appreciate that.
Really matters.
Well, that makes me happy. Thank you so much. That and the veteran cause are so near and dear to my heart, and to have a platform, and I try not to ever turn down a podcast or a radio interview or anything, because that's the only way we're going to reach and branch. And it all helps. It all helps get we're all social media posts, just helps get the word out there. But I really appreciate that. Thank
I'm
you.
excited to see more shows. By the way, I did go home and then download both of your TV shows. And watch them, and
nice.
I had already been checking yours out for a while, but I went back, and Jules, you were a brunette.
I know,
and that literally threw me off.
It's funny.
I was like, what?
So,
but she's not. She's blonde. What?
It's really funny. One season of our show, I had a different hair color on every episode, and Daniel was so
She doesn't
mad.
like to discriminate. She's very open-minded to every color.
It's a woman's prerogative.
Exactly.
Right? I'm allowed to do
Brian asked Daniel last night, well, what was it originally? I'm like, Brian, don't you know it? It doesn't matter. My wife's taught me that. It doesn't matter what you were originally.
Well, it came to the point where Daniel told me to pick a color and stick with it.
That's what he said.
All of our promotional photos don't look like me anymore. And so he's like, I can't keep photoshopping
He's
your
with
hair
a different
color.
chick every season.
I know, right? two-timer.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I've always been like that. Like I'm just, whatever.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It changes.
Well, why
was
do you think
cool.
I wear a hat all the time? I'm pure white under here.
Right.
No, I am. I don't know. I'm a little red and blonde right now, but truly, if I let it go, ooh, pure white, baby.
Yeah, I'm turning gray and white.
Yeah, but
I
on a
don't mind
guy,
it.
the
I
salt
don't
and
mind
pepper's
it.
distinguished.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Not so
Yeah.
much on a gal.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's nice today is all the amazing, things you can do to your hair.
Right?
Because
I
my
know.
wife,
Who knew your podcast would lead in this
seriously,
direction?
my wife's hair fell out
New
because
ground.
cancer,
Oh,
but she kept like about half.
yeah.
Yeah,
She's got the thickest hair of every woman in the world. It's just thick, and so when it fell out, which a lot fell out, she looked then like a normal lady does.
He's
Right.
very fortunate.
And so, but what happened was all the new hair grew back underneath the long hair that stayed. And so she got these little hairs like coming out this far, and they curl tight like a poodle, right? There's like this chemo hair. And it's starting to grow in it, and her hair just goes whoosh, and she can't get it to stop. Like,
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tell her
it's
to join the hat
hats
club with
and-
me.
Yeah.
Well, Julie's just this gorgeous mane of hair. Looks so. I swear, I saw her in the mornings. We hunted together. It looks like this in the morning too. And I not that fortunate, but my sponsors like it because I'm constantly wearing hats.
Right. It's true. You always have a hat on.
Dude,
Yeah.
my partner's hair looks the same in the morning, too. Always looks like that.
Hats on girls are cute.
Right.
Absolutely, they
Good
are. They're
Good
just cute.
comeback.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, any parting questions? Parting thoughts?
No, this is fun though. I think we should just go on the road
I
together.
think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
we're
is great.
kicking around another show idea. Actually.
Oh yeah, so we're
yeah.
gonna start a new show together.
Yep.
Me and you.
Yep. Just
Yeah.
just Jules and I on our adventures.
You'll turn
Yeah.
the guys into cameramen?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, we already have those. You know.
Yeah, I know,
In fact,
right?
there's one right there, right,
Yeah.
Jimmy? Cameraman Jimmy, right over there.
Yeah, nothing would change really.
No,
we
we're-
would just coordinate schedules.
Yeah,
show up
Yeah.
at the same places all the
Yeah.
time.
Just
yeah,
travel
take
the
over
globe.
the
We're
world.
hunting together, and
Yeah.
we have a couple of working titles in the mix, but we're going to
Yeah.
keep those as a surprise.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Very cool. We'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, this has been fun though.
Yeah, casual.
I like this.
Oh, I tell you, the Western Hunting Expo was awesome because it's just
Casual.
it's quiet in here, a lot more quiet. It's all carpeted.
Yeah.
It's quiet. You can chit chat. Obviously, Saturday, Sunday gets pretty busy and crazy in
Yeah.
here, but Thursday and Friday are nice enough to sit down and chat and have casual
Yeah.
conversation and with people on the floor too, not
Yeah.
just the podcast. But
Yeah.
it's fun. I love this show.
No, this
Yeah.
is a cool place
Good
to be
show.
too, with the mountain ops and
Yeah.
bushes, and
Yes.
it's a neat.
It's like a big family here,
It
right?
is.
You walk into this booth and you immediately either know someone or
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like we could spend all day here.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
family
Like, that's a good
reunion.
idea. Tomorrow, same place.
Are you gonna?
Yeah.
Are you gonna ride the bull?
Oh,
After Julie does.
I'll do it.
We were
yeah.
talking about this earlier.
That looks like it would break me.
Yeah, they might throw it back
I'm
out.
sure I'd get hurt.
Has anyone actually rode it yet?
Yeah, I saw a girl.
There's
on
been
it.
some people on
We
it,
saw
yeah.
some
Yeah.
ladies that I don't want to
Mechanical
venture
bull.
a guess, but they were older than I thought would get on that. I was
Oh,
pretty
really?
impressed. Yeah.
Wow. Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
We should do. Will they let both of us ride the bull at the same time?
I think that's probably not gonna
Oh.
go.
Can you
imagine us
That
going
might cause
Yeah.
too much of a
Whoa,
crowd.
whoa, go
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna go. So how'd you lose your front teeth?
Yeah,
Julie?"
exactly. On the back of Jana's
back
head.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that you guys would join in that dance off last night.
Oh, I
my
didn't even know it was
gosh.
going on until it went on. But with that, I tell you,
that the funniest
if
thing
Cameron
you've
from
ever-
Wishes
Cameron over
for
there,
Warriors didn't represent, I don't know who did.
Yeah.
He
I
wanted that cooler.
Dude.
Oh
Yeah, he
my
did.
gosh.
Yeah, for those
Yeah.
that didn't see it, Cameron got his groove on and took off his Wishes for Warriors shirt, and
Yeah.
let's just say he
He
put his
earned
heart
it.
and soul into
He won-
it, and
he
he
won that
earned that cooler.
And Daniel sang, and that was
Oh.
he's impressive.
Oh,
I hadn't
isn't he
seen him
great?
sing in person, so and
Yeah.
he's sick.
He's
He's
it's
got a
funny.
bit of a
They booked him to sing last night, and he has not had a voice for a month. So really tough for him to sing, but he did really
No,
good.
you wouldn't have known, huh? He told us that ahead of time. I'm like, you'd never.
You could hear it when you're talking to him, but
yeah.
when he
Well,
got
imagine
up there,
if he had his voice, how good he would have sounded.
Yeah.
I mean, but he still did good. He sang the song he wrote for me last
I
night.
know, that was
sweet.
awesome.
I made the lyrics. Did you hear that?
Yeah, Jana's name.
Really? Got a
is
little plug in there.
Yeah, Jana's
That's
name
right.
is in my love song. It's kind of cute.
Is that besties or what?
Yeah,
That's right.
You know we're close when her name appears in
her
my
love song.
Yeah.
does he have a recording of that that's we can get our hands on?
I don't know if he does or not. I think he
It's not on
recorded
iTunes?
it. But I don't think it's on iTunes.
Because it'd be cool to play it at the end of the podcast.
Oh, I
That
bet
would
he
be
could
cool.
probably get it for you.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, because it is a cool song. He,
That's really cool.
I had been working overseas at the time, and I was, he wrote a love song for someone else in the past. I wanted one too. And so I came home from work, and he's like, "Oh, I wrote your song," and I got all excited, and I'm laying on our bed, and he gets his guitar, and he sings this song, and I'm like, "Okay, not what I expected." But I kind of like it.
It's so cute.
It's pretty
so cute.
Yeah, he's
The
quite
basic
guy.
basic premise is he's trading in his single tree stand for a double.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
so
Well,
cute.
and it sounds like it's a Julie McQueen song.
Right?
It really is.
Yeah.
Like,
You can tell he knows me.
Yeah.
for
yeah,
sure.
totally.
Yeah.
That's
Let me
what I
just
thought.
remind you that Jimbo's a songwriter too, and there's yet to be a Jana song.
Yours is going to be a rap song.
Yeah, it probably is. Mine's hip hop, and it's going to be called like the Shermanator or something because that's my nickname. So it's probably not going to be romantic either.
Oh, well, guys, thank you for coming
Absolutely.
on.
Yeah,
Anytime.
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Team Waller Queen, right?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No,
Oh,
team
man.
Jules and Jana.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
I like
that's
it, Jana.
better.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
No,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Okay,
There you go.
got it.
And the growl. Yeah, there you go. That's
Gotta
money.
have that, yeah.
That's more like a Predator growl, like Predator
Oh, wait,
the movie.
You do that, and I'll
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
That'll be great.
There you go. That's
That's a terrible idea. No, don't do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Gritty friends, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher. We love reading your reviews. And connect with us on social media if you're on there. Look us up on Facebook and Instagram, and take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive notifications when we upload new videos. We've got a sweet deal with Mountain Ops. You get 20% off on all Mountain Ops supplements, combo packs, and apparel when you type in the word gritty at checkout. If you're a hardcore elk hunter, or you want to be, go to the Elk 101 website online and check them out. Our friend Corey Jacobson is killing it with some of the best elk hunting information and entertainment on the web. If you haven't heard, we're doing a huge gear giveaway to try and grow and expand the gritty community on Facebook and Instagram. I asked a bunch of friends to pitch in on this gear giveaway, and they all came through with some awesome stuff. Our friends at Kafaru, Rockslide, First Light, Phelps Game Calls, One Shot Gear, Mountain Ops, Triple X Archery, Blacktail Outdoors, and Is It September Yet are pitching in some sweet gear for the giveaway. We'll announce all the details in the next few weeks. All you have to do to be entered to win is like our Gritty Bowmen Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. All right, friends, let me leave you with one other quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things." We all have a choice. We can be people who do things or people who criticize the work of others. It's pretty simple, really. Get out there and do your thing. Good luck on your hunts, and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
Gritty Bowmen.